Some of you, your finances are affected because of how you dealt with your parents. I shared a story here many years ago. Some of you know it, some of you don't, but I'll help repeat for those of you who didn't know that story. I remember during those times in my banking days, I was struggling financially. And I remember it was my father, the first time he looked at me after 5 years, I think, of banking, nothing to my name. Of course, I was giving it all in the church. I gave all my salary. But that wasn't the reason why I shouldn't be blessed, because technically speaking, or spiritually, truthfully speaking, the Bibles are very clear. If you sow, you reap. So why wasn't I seeing a harvest? And then one time he walked to me and said, son, has it occurred to you that maybe you're living or functioning under an enslaved spirit, a spirit of slavery? It had never come to my mind. But in retrospect, when I went to really think through, ponder, contemplate through what this man was saying, all the signs of a slave were in my life. Because a slave is never truly paid enough, or if they are paid, they are not given the liberty to express themselves in their labor. They are limited, the spirit of limitation. And so I went to the Lord and I said, Father, what can I do? And the Spirit of the Lord led me to that portion of scripture of the young man who went to his father, the prodigal son, and told his father, give me my inheritance. And the Lord told me, those people you see have your inheritance. So I walked to my father and was seated in the living room with my mother. And I told my father that Sunday evening, I'm tired of the spirit of struggle. Now, I want you to give me my inheritance now. Now some of you are like, of course it was like that. It was like, inheritance? I said, yes, my inheritance. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, I want my inheritance through a blessing. I want you to lay hands on me and speak everything you know I should be touching wealth, prosperity, and progress. If you do that, and I told my father, if you do that, you don't need to leave me even an inch in your will. I don't want any of your possessions. I don't want anything you have built through your sweat, blood, and tears. Just speak your blessing over my life and set me going. I know how to find myself. Looked at my mom. He told me, kneel down. They laid hands on me. That was the beginning of wealth. He didn't give me even an inch to start, but he pronounced something on me that awakened so much in my life. These people have a blessing on their hand that you cannot even fathom. This is very true. And then somebody in anger speaks to their father, speaks to their mother, speaks to their elder, like they don't understand the consequences. Why shouldn't you actually weigh the two to think, okay, instead of answering my mother this way and losing 20 years of my life or struggling to graduate or find a job, what do I lose by putting water in my mouth and keeping quiet? You put water in your mouth and keep quiet. And let him or her abuse you, or let them say whatever they say. Just hold your peace and keep your peace for the sake of your destiny. These people you disrespect. These people you abuse. These people you talk back at. These people you back at. These people whose phones you refuse to answer. No matter how crazy and wild they might be. God has never called you to correct upward. If you know that you are the kind who must correct everyone, then if you must correct upward, understand the wisdom that is required to correct a greater person than you are. For some of us, we don't even dare. We don't even dare because we know the consequences. Look at the most successful people and study how they deal with their parents. And I see these 10-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 25-year-olds becoming disrespectful and out of order. And I'm thinking, it doesn't matter how tough your father is. It Doesn't matter how crazy your mother is. She's your mother. He's your father. You didn't choose them. God chose them in your order. And whether you want it or not, you might blame their character and forget that God was trying to deal with something in you also. Are you following what I'm saying?